We often hear that science and religion are involved in this ongoing battle and war, and that discussion is usually framed by saying that science speaks to facts and evidences, whereas Christianity or religious belief, it only has to do with opinion or wishful thinking. Is there sort of a conflict between science and Christianity?
Well, that idea that there's been a war between science and Christianity is actually a myth. It first was generated by Andrew White, who is the president of Cornell University in the late 1800s. He was an atheist, and he wrote a book that was a propaganda piece that was not true on the warfare between science and religion. And today, you will not find a single historian of science in any university that believes that warfare myth. No, the history of the interaction between Christianity and science has not been a war. Indeed, Andy, it was Christianity in Europe that provided the worldview within which science was born, because Christianity supported the assumptions of science, that the world is rational, that our minds are capable of knowing the world, that there is such a thing as truth. And the Christian worldview said that God made our minds and the world so that we could know the world in a scientific way, and that generated the scientific enterprise.
Yeah, and that's great. I appreciate you saying that because, it does seem that the history of science, especially sort of when it emerged on the scene, there were some very prominent scientists who were Christians. They were believers.
Well, and it is no accident that Christianity gave birth to science, that science did not come from a Hindu or a Buddhist or an atheist culture, because it was a Christian worldview, as I said, that provided the assumption that, my goodness, it may very well be that God created the world so that it could be understood by our minds. And that was not a part of other worldviews.